Hey YouTube, I had to come back, child. Bobby Brown's story so damn good. I had to do a part 2 because my phone died and I'm outside enjoying this good breeze and shit. So I left off with the part where Kim came with the 2 goddamn kids and Whitney Houston was sitting there and shit. Whitney Houston looking at that bitch like, bitch. And you know, Kim got upset and stuff because you know Whitney Houston was in the room and stuff. So anyway, Whitney Houston didn't give a damn. She's from Jersey. She didn't give a goddamn about that Kim. So, okay, Whitney Houston. I'm reading my notes. See, this is why I took notes because I would have forgot all this shit. 2 hours and 30 minutes. And I watched the Have and Have Nots. And I was on People Live. I would have forgot all this shit. So, okay, he goes to Kim's house. Kim's put the moves on him, of course. Bobby Brown is weak. He feel like it's his prerogative, and he's still doing what the hell he want to do, even though he was with Whitney Houston at the same damn time. So, he sleeps with Kim. He falls weak and he sleeps with Kim. A couple of weeks later, he winds up with Whitney Houston. He goes and picks her up. They in the limo together or whatever. And he proposes to her. And she's happy because, you know, that's what his family wanted. You know, it was like, come on, like, y'all gonna date forever? 3 years, I mean, come on. Proposed to her already. So he proposes to Whitney or whatever. She's all happy and everything. It was just beautiful. And it was beautiful. She's all happy and it's beautiful and everything. So they propose. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I have to look at people. It's crazy. Anyway, and they in love, and he proposes to her, and he decides to put his money with Whitney Houston's money, his brother, Tommy, and the financial advisor is like, wait a minute, you really about to sign those papers and put all your money with her money? Why y'all can't put a little bit of each other money in a different account or something like that? Like, you doing too much. Like, we know you in love and all that, but god damn it, like, let's just be real. So he's saying to the brother and the financial advisor, listen, I'm in love with Whitney. Whitney's not going nowhere. We're gonna be together forever and this and that. So he signed his money and put his money right into Whitney Houston's accounts, honey. Baby! His brother looked at that guy and was like, this nigga did the worst thing ever. But he was head over heels for Whitney. Like, they was in love. Or whatever. So, at this point, a couple of weeks later, he finds out, Kim tells him, listen, I'm pregnant. He goes and he tells Whitney, or whatever, that Kim is pregnant. But already at this point, Whitney is filming for The Bodyguard. Whitney is planning for their wedding. And homegirl is already pregnant. Yes. Whitney Houston was pregnant. Whitney Houston was pregnant filming The Bodyguard. And she told him, like, so you got me and her pregnant at the same time? How dare you? Like, what is you thinking? And she told him, when Kim have that baby, when that baby drop, you gonna get a DNA test. So he said, you think I need a DNA test? What, you think the baby ain't mine? She looked at that nigga like, listen, please, you gonna get a DNA test for that goddamn baby. So Whitney Houston wasn't having it from jump. And they still planning their wedding and this and that. But Robin is right there, right on it, every step of the goddamn way. And I was tired of Robin in the goddamn movie. So I know Bobby Brown was tired of Robin in real goddamn life. Because she was there. Arguments and all that. She was there. So, Whitney Houston is in the middle of filming The Bodyguard. And she finds out that she's pregnant. Now, she lost the baby. Now she loses the first baby. And Kevin Costner is there on the plane with her. They at that part where they singing, you know, I Will Always Love You part. And they on the plane scene, and Bobby Brown pops up on the set. Kim says, oh, you need to talk to her later. Bobby Brown pushes past Kim, right? Push past Robin And he pushed right past her and was like, no, I need to talk to her. Like, I need to talk to my wife. And he pops up on the plane, and Kevin Costner is rubbing her back and telling her it's gonna be all right. And but the face Bobby Brown had, you could tell he was a little jealous. So Kevin Costner said, I'll let y'all talk or whatever, because you know him and Whitney Houston was real close. So he said, I'll let y'all talk or whatever. Kevin Costner leaves the plane, they talking, and Whitney Houston is all sad and crying about the loss of her baby, because it's like, damn, I was pregnant, now this bitch get to have her fucking baby. Ain't that some shit? So, they have the baby, and, well, they didn't have the baby. She learns that she lost the baby, they didn't have the baby. And they get married, but before they get married, Bobby Brown locks himself in the bathroom because he's nervous on the day of the wedding. And then I wonder, I'm talking fast because this is like the third time I done did this. Like, it's crazy. And yeah, my phone died 2 times. So it's like, yeah, I got 3 of them. So yeah. So he locks himself in the bathroom because he's nervous and talking to his brother through the door. And Whitney Houston is nervous. So when he comes out, he goes to get Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston nervous. This is when he finds out homegirl doing lines of coke, honey. And her, you know, Robin is there, looking all upset in the face and stuff, looking like a little pit bull and stuff. So she all mad, you know. Robin always seems like when Bobby Brown came around, like she had this attitude. Like that attitude was always on her face. Like her face was always scrunched up when Bobby Brown came around. And this is when he found out that she does lines. She didn't want him to find out like that. She didn't want nobody to know that she was doing coke. So she was really hiding it from Bobby. Bobby Brown said it's okay. They went ahead and got married, honey. And shortly after, she got pregnant with Bobby Christina. Okay, she got pregnant with Bobby Christina. Everybody's, you know, doing whatever they gotta do. And Bobby Christina was born. But right after Bobby Christina was born, it was like Whitney Houston picked up on the drugs. Like, it got heavier. Instead of her reducing after she, you know, gave birth, it got crazy real fast after Bobby Christina. I noticed that. It got real crazy real fast. Even in her movie, it got real crazy real fast. And if you put the New Edition movie together with this movie right here, plus Whitney Houston's movie, you would see they all like link up. Like, you can see what it is. And in all the movies, his life got crazy after Bobby Christina. So basically, and they was doing drugs heavy. Like, one moment, Bobby Brown popped up at a hotel room, white residue on his nose. He didn't even know he had the white residue, the powder up there on his nose. And I guess he was supposed to be going to get drugs for Whitney. And Whitney was in there partying with Robin. And Robin and her playing all this loud music and all this craziness. And it was crazy. They playing Craig Mack, child, Flavor in Your Ear, child. So, and she opened the door with the chain on the door. Bobby Brown said, well, the guy didn't have no coke or whatever. And she pointed to his nose and touched it and said, well, for him not to have none, letting him know, like, I see it on your nose. Like, you didn't know it was on your nose, but I see it, nigga. And she closed the door and didn't let him in because he didn't have the coke. I said, Whitney Houston. And her and Robin continued to party. So basically, what it portrays, like he's always said, it was like she was dating Robin and married to Bobby. And that's crazy. But it happens. Especially back in those days where you wasn't allowed to be yourself if you was in the limelight. Like, you wasn't allowed to be pregnant and in the limelight, or you wasn't allowed to be gay and in the limelight and all that other stuff. So I guess that's why she really, like, hid her relationship with Robin, saying that, you know, Robin is just her best friend. But Robin was there for every goddamn thing. Robin was there so goddamn much, I was tired of Robin. That's how much Robin was there. Robin was there a little bit too much for me. And I know Bobby Brown got tired of her being around because it was just crazy. Hello, it became the Clash of the Titans after a while, because it's like, Why are you here and I'm here? So they partying and he's doing drugs so heavy. Bobby at one point stopped working. And the brother was going to meet up with Bobby or whatever. He leaving to get ready to leave the house. And the mother stops him and says, well, can you look at this paperwork? It shows him the eviction for the house. And she said, this is the second eviction. What is going on with Bobby and why is he not paying the goddamn bills? So the brother sat down and started telling the mother, listen, Bobby's not the same no more. He's out of control. He's doing drugs. So the mother says, oh, he just doing weed or whatever. He said, no, ma. Bobby Brown is doing coke every day. They locked up in that house. And then she asks, well, where's my grandbaby at if they locked up in the house doing drugs all damn day? And he says, well, Bobby Christina be with the babysitter and this and this and that. And it's so crazy that they get the deliveries at the door. They don't even have to come out their house. They get the coke at their door. So the mother goes off on him, how she should have looked out for her, how he should have looked out for his little brother and this and that, and you his manager, and you should have made sure he was paying his bills and this and that and the third. So as the mother flips on him, he gets up, he goes and meets up with his brother. He goes and meets up with Bobby and says, well, what's going on with you not paying the bills and all this other stuff? And he says to the brother, oh, I'll pay it tomorrow. He said, you need to, because we're about to get kicked out that house, and that house is going to be on for sale. So, you know, Bobby Brown gets a little upset. At this point, his brother really sees, like, oh, this nigga got a brick of coke on the table, okay? He's doing that Tani Montana. He got it, chopping it up. And as he's talking to the brother, Bobby Brown is doing the lines of coke. And it's crazy. Like, you really are out of control. So he really sees that Bobby Brown is being is going downhill. He's not in the studio. He's not working. He's not paying bills. They in that house. They coked up all fucking day like a little coke dungeon. And it's crazy. But like he said, you not working. You don't know where your money's going. But she's working and still she's stacking her money. So I guess at the time in real life when we seen Whitney at her worst and coming there sweating and look like she was high on stage and all that, that's what he's talking about. Like, she getting her money still, you know, working, and you're not even making an album in your lap. You need to make this album before they sue us. So he going back and forth with his brother. Bobby Brown got mad and he fired him. On the spot, fired him. Because he got mad because he was telling him what he needed to do and this and that and the third. So Bobby Brown was so fucked up that he forgot his daughter's birthday, okay? And the brother said, yeah, you need to call your child. And by the way, you bought her a bike. So basically, the brother covered for Bobby and sent the baby a bike. And Bobby Brown and said it was from him. But Bobby Brown really never sent the baby nothing because he forgot. So the next scene was when he goes back home. He meets up with the brother-in-law. His brother-in-law, which is getting ready to marry the sister, by Brown's little sister, is being played by Lance Cross from the House of Pain. His fine chocolate ass, honey. Yes, honey. So him and Bobby Brown is having a heart-to-heart in the bar, and he's telling him, yeah, you marrying my little sister. That's my little sister. And he said, yeah, your little sister loves me. I love her back. She's the only one that believed in me. And I'm ready to marry her. And this and that and the third. But as he's saying that and they having their little heart-to-heart, Bobby Brown got his back towards these two guys. But Lance Cross sees these two guys. He peeps them. And he asked Bobby, like, do you know these two guys? And Bobby Brown said, no, I don't know them. So by the time the guys go outside, by the time Bobby Brown and the brother-in-law go outside, the guys is already out there in their car. A car pulls up. Bobby Brown tosses the brother the keys because he's too drunk to drive. Lance sees that the car is pulling up on him slowly. He jumps in the car. Him and Bobby Brown jump in the car. He throws Bobby Brown the gun when he get in the car. They already pulled up on the side of the brother-in-law and they shot up the brother-in-law. Didn't touch Bobby. Bobby Brown meets his family at the hospital and his brother-in-law dies. Lance Cross wasn't even in the goddamn movie for 15 minutes good, honey. Him was already dead, honey. I was like, Lord Jesus, all that chocolate. So Lance Cross, he died in the movie early. And that was another person that died around Bobby, like right there in front of him. Like, basically, Bobby Brown has seen a whole lot of turmoil and people dying his whole life. And basically, he experienced death around him his whole entire life. And his father had to tell him, like, you're not understanding what's going on around you. Like, you need to wake up. Like, you experiencing death all around you. You're doing drugs. You need to get yourself back on track, son, and do what the hell you got to do. So basically, it went off like that with the brother-in-law dying or whatever. And that was only the first half. And that first half, like I said, is 2 hours and 30 minutes. So I could imagine if the other half tonight is going to be 2 hours and 30 minutes, I'm here for it. BET did their thing with this movie, even with the commercials and all that stuff. BET got to throw their little commercials in there showing us what's about to come on and all that stuff, honey. And they got some good stuff about to come on BET. But it was a good first half, and it went off like that. And it's about tonight they're gonna really get into the nitty-gritty of it all. So hopefully the second half be just as good and just as long as that first half. And I'm going to enjoy every little bit of it. Greenleaf come on tonight too. And like I said, I watched Having and Have-Nots as I was watching Bobby Brown. It's crazy. I had to get some Hennessy. It was just too much going on TV, honey. The kids went back to school. TV is lit. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. So tonight is the Bobby Brown Part 2. And it's the Greenleaf. Of course, I'm going to do 2 separate videos because all that bunched up into one video, that's one heck of a video. That's one heck of a video. And I'm not going to bunch it up like that. I'm going to give Bobby Brown his face in his single video, and I'm going to do Greenleaf single video. I'm not going to bunch. I thought about bunching it all together, but I'm not going to even do that. So I'm just going to break it down into 2 videos tomorrow. So until tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting ready to go to work. I'm Eve the Weave. Like, subscribe, and share this video. I gotta go. Bye.